Yo, it's your boy Norbs, and this is the 10-8 podcast, Bros Over Pros podcast, whatever you want to call it. But I decided to get the maniac, the craziest guy in boxing.
Yes, sir.
Out of Santiago, Dominican Republic. You know what I mean? Your man. Yo, this shit is crazy on these streets, bro. I was watching. Anyway, what's good, bro? What's good? Let's start
I'm good, my brother. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm real good. I received a bunch of text messages from one of my best friends. He's like my brother, Gerald McCoy, and he was killing me this morning about the Tank hate. He says I hate Tank, and I'm like, I don't hate Tank. I actually respect Tank, but I don't respect his resume. I truly hate his resume. Right? So
Yeah.
And whatever. So last night I did a video or whatever on the event that transpired, right? Which was the KEYSHAWN Davis mega event in Virginia, in Norfolk, Virginia, where the guy did his thing. He sold 11,000 seats. He's been having his go back and forth with Tank Davis. And I was arguing with him literally for about an hour. and it's crazy because I'm like, damn, does he got a point? I do a lot of Tank blogs, right? But Tank, like you said, just before we got on the air, is popular. He's super popular. You know what I mean? And, I told him, watch the video that I had last night. Just watch it, and you're kind of going to see where I came from with it. There was a lot of things that transpired last night. You had the thing to take. But let's talk about what everybody's talking about. KEYSHAWN Davis and what happened last night. I mean, what was your take on KEYSHAWN Davis before we get into him and Gervonta?
Yeah, man. So, KEYSHAWN Davis, Olympic silver medalist, very big amateur background. He's headlining at home for the first time. You know how that could get sometimes. The lights could be a little too bright. He was going up against Gustavo Lemos from Argentina. This is a fighter that in his last fight, he gave Richard Hitchens hell. For those that don't know, that's a New York City fighter out of Brooklyn who's fighting next month for a title, who's undefeated. So, when this fight was first announced, Norbs, I'm like, yo, this guy could give KEYSHAWN some trouble. But then something transpired on Thursday. The weigh-in, the day of the weigh-in.
Yep.
Post comes in 6 pounds overweight.
Yep.
Now, for those that watch boxing closely, for those that don't watch boxing closely, let me just give you a quick rundown when it comes to fighters coming in overweight. So you have a limit, right? They fight at 135. So they signed a contract to come in at 135 pounds. Lemo came in at 141 and change.
Yeah.
Normally, when a fighter comes in that high, they cancel the fight. That's too many pounds. We don't care about money.
Yeah.
That's just too high. Something was there. Something the KEYSHAWN Davis team knew that, we're going to take this fight. But anyway, they took the fight nonetheless. KEYSHAWN Davis, man, look, he put on. He started off, he was just on his back foot. Lemos was the aggressor, which everyone expected him to be because that's his style. And when we got to the second round, man, KEYSHAWN just hit him with a right counter hand. Bing! And once he hit him, that was the beginning of the end for Lemos. And then he just finished him with an uppercut. He gave him that NyQuil. So, KEYSHAWN put a good performance. Yeah. I'm not going to, he put on for his city. So, I think the way he won was the way he needed to win in order for him to garner that respect, for him to garner that hype now that everyone is putting behind him like he's the next one.
Now, I want to add to what you said about the overweight situation, being at weighing in at 6 pounds. Yes, he weighed over 6.5 pounds at weigh-in, but he actually weighed in at 155 fight night. So he was fighting literally a super welterweight at 155 pounds, which was whatever, right? And you're right. To your point, he fought the fight that he needed to fight and put him away. He had a great fight against Hitchinson, the last one. People said he gave him a lot of problems. And KEYSHAWN disposed of him like it was nothing. Now, some people say, oh, he was out of shape or whatever. I don't know. I can't tell you, but I do know he was fighting somebody bigger. Now, what impressed me about the KEYSHAWN situation is what you touched on. It was his first big, it was like a rollout for him, right? He had it in Virginia. How many times, Maniac, do we see guys have a homecoming that doesn't live up to the expectation? How many times do we see that? Right?
We see it a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, our boy who's fighting tonight, Gabriel Matias, his last fight in Puerto Rico, lost his title.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. Listen, not only was he impressive, right? This was his homecoming. He sold 11,000 tickets, which is good for KEYSHAWN. Bro, if you watch the entirety of the event, he's literally doing interviews from the beginning of it to the end. He has a headset on, and I'm sitting there, bro, is he focused? He's literally throwing the event, interviewing with people, and still staying focused. And I thought that was absolutely telling to who KEYSHAWN Davis is as a person. Now, that's what impressed me in regards to what he can become, okay? Now, a lot of people seen the performance, and they're like, yo, we got to see Tank. I seen Two-Tone. I don't know his whole name. He was like, cancel the Roach fight. We got to see this fight. I'm saying hold your horses. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Listen.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not there yet. And you know, my show last night, the titles got switched because I put it in an app, right? And the app switched the titles. But I literally used it. I used what KEYSHAWN said after the fight, where he says, knock, knock, Javante, I'm here. I thought that was dope, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was dope. But also KEYSHAWN was very smart and said, I want to win a belt, garner some experience, and then unify. I thought his mentality, and this is what impressed me about him, his mentality, his approach on it. Let's send the contract. Let's make the fight happen. I thought that was super dope. I love the way the kid is carrying himself. Even brought up when he pressed Teofimo. I was impressed. He didn't go in there like an asshole. He pulled him to the side and was like, look, this is what happened. I've been very impressed the way he handles himself. And I would love to see this because at the end of the day, and I'm not saying now, I'm not even saying he's going to win the fight, right? But what I am saying is I'm tired of seeing him bring somebody up for 130, bringing somebody for 140 and draining them. These are the facts. This is not me hating. These are me pointing out the facts. This is somebody that's legitimately in 135 pounds that's coming off an amazing performance, right? People can say, oh, we don't want to see Shakur. He's looked like shit. Well, KEYSHAWN has not. So to me, that's what impressed me. I know I said a lot. That's what impressed me about the kid, KEYSHAWN Davis. What do you feel about what I just stated?
No, and it's good. And also, right, just to touch on as far as him running around doing interviews, he also had both his brothers on the card fighting, right? Keon, the youngest brother, made his debut, and Kelvin, which is, the older brother, right? And on top of that, he had his sister sing the national anthem, right? So it was a family affair, right? Not only he brought a fight card to his city, but he made sure that his family ate as well. And that's what it's about, right? Once I'm at the table, everybody eats. Everybody gets a plate. So that was also telling he wasn't selfish about it. He spread the love. And that's what you want to see from a fighter, because that is maturity as well. Yeah. Now, as far as him calling out Tank, smart marketing move. Yes, it's not going to happen next year, maybe 2 years, but it's smart marketing. Why? Because you come off an impressive win like he did yesterday. That's when you go for the kill. You go for the guy everybody knows. And who's that? Tank Davis. And you're right. Listen, no disrespect to Tank. We know he's a great fighter, phenomenal. He got skills. But truth is truth, right? It's not hate. There's a difference between truth and hate, right? Hate is saying Tank is whack. Hate is saying Tank is overrated. Hate is saying that, negative things about Tank. No, we're just speaking out the obvious. He's bringing up junior lightweight and Lamont Roach. Yes, Bayer Lamont Roach is a champion at 130, but who's asking for that fight? We don't want that. Listen, Let Keyshawn get a belt. He's most likely going to fight Denis Berinchyk, the Ukrainian fighter who beat Navarrete earlier this year for that vacant belt. And if Keyshawn could get that belt, right, win that, now him and Tank, a unification match will make a lot of sense because now there's value in that fight. Norbs, you got a belt, I got a belt. The winner get 2 belts and a lot of bragging rights.
Absolutely. And to add to your point, man, it's somebody at 135 pounds that's making noise. Something that people have critiqued Tank Davis for not doing. When he had Teofimo in there, Loma in there, Devin in there, these guys were all in there at the same time and did not fight them and went to go fight Barrios and went to go fight Santa Cruz and everybody that was not in his division. That's my biggest critique of Tank. Now, Tank is probably the most talented out of everyone that we just named. But
correct.
The fact of the matter is he has went outside of his division in order to avoid it. And to me, that's my biggest concern with him. I mean, and that's why I like what's going on with KEYSHAWN. It's another opponent that's in his division that's making noise. And I believe that it can be a mega fight. Look, Tank wants to sell. He wants a big fight. His biggest fight was against who? One of his peers, Ryan Garcia. He sold 1.2 million pay-per-views. Has not cracked, I think, 500,000 since or even less, right? I could be wrong. I don't think he has. He needs another guy in that division. I think Keyshawn Davis possibly can be that opponent that people are going to want to see at this point. Jesse Carl says Roach is coming up, but also has 14 fights at 135.
Yeah, well, Jesse Carl. Now let me know when was those fights at 135? A long time ago. None of those are recent.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. He's fought there before. It's the same thing. Tank is fought at 140 against Barrio. So why he can't go up there? So why when is it that we ask Tank to go up? Oh, but come on, bro. He don't feel comfortable, he said, but he's fought there before. And he's beaten a fighter who's currently a world champion at 147. So he ain't beat no bum at 140. But again, to each his own.
Yeah, and listen, man, and this is not to knock Tank. I just want to see Tank in a big fight. I think he's a talented dude, but I want to see greatness be great, right? And how do you become great? You beat great fighters. And I'm not saying Keyshawn is there yet, but he took a step in the right direction. Again, how many times do we see these guys have these big events and not live up to the hype? Not only that, they get overzealous. They want to do too much. He walked in there, was very calm, collective, was going to the body, tagging him, and when he saw the opportunity, took it and capitalized off of it. I think these are things that a lot of fighters, you know, they don't do. For instance, what's his name? Kid Austin last week, okay? He called out, Tank. Everybody calls out Tank. Let's be real. You want that money, call out Tank. And was overzealous and had a struggle against that guy. Got hurt a few times, okay?
Yeah.
This is the same situation, but a different result. They're questioning Austin, but they're not questioning Keyshawn. Keyshawn held it down differently and was very impressive. Now, people are going to say, well, he only got 12 fights. So did Rolly.
Yeah.
So did Rolly.
Yeah, he's experienced enough, no, you know. But I would say this, right? If we can't get the Tank fight, right? There's two fighters at 135 I wouldn't mind seeing Keyshawn in with. One is Raymond Murataya, who fought last week, and two is the Dominican dude, Edwin De Los Santos, who gave Shakur a lot of problems, and in fact, who knocked out El Rayo, which is Jose Venezuela, the guy that just beat Pitbull at 140. Well, De Los Santos is a dangerous fighter, man. So if we can't get Tank and Keyshawn within a year or two, next year I would like to see Keyshawn in those kind of fights, along with a title shot, which is look like he's going to get against Denis Berinchyk.
Yeah, and to add to what you're saying, guys, I'm not saying tomorrow. But my man, Real Phil Blunt, says Keyshawn needs another fight or two before he gets Tank. I'm with you.
I agree.
I'm with you. All I'm saying is this. Boxing is lacking superstars. They're lacking stars. And when you see somebody that understands how to carry themselves, who understands the moment, who is now selling tickets, who's moving up, you got to be excited, especially when you have somebody like Gervonta in that division. You got somebody like Tank in there. I'm tired of seeing Tank fight guys. I didn't want to see him for Frank Martin. I didn't want to see him against Santa Cruz coming up from 126 or whatever. I like to see other guys in there, and I think it's good for Tank to get somebody that can raise up the pay-per-view buys. Listen, more pay-per-view buys mean what? More people are tuning in. People don't want to see BS fights. No, listen, there's a reason, and let's be honest, why Tank is not going down December 14th versus Lamont Roach. You could give whatever excuse you want, but no promoter wants to pay for that fight. Nobody wants to give Tank $30 million to fight Roach. He's not Canelo. He's not.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a difference right now, and I think people, and it's not me only, it's a bunch of people. Ever since that Hall of Fame conversation that dropped, everybody's been questioning, when are we going to see Tank fight the next big thing? When are we going to see him fight this guy? And I think it's a fair thing, and maybe it's premature, okay, with Keyshawn Davis, but it is
good. It's eye candy, right? It's eye candy. Something that we know that can perhaps happen down the line, right? So as long as Keyshawn keeps winning, and Tank, it's gonna get bigger, man. And and again, like to your point, listen, we like Tank. I've said it. Anyone at 135 and even at 140, I will favor Tank to beat them. Not saying he beats all of them, but I will favor them. If I had to put money, nobody from 135 to 140 to me is going to be Tank. Again, that doesn't mean that happens. He could be beaten. I'm just telling you. No, so just in case people think we attacking Tank, it's not attacking him. It's just saying, listen, if you great, I want to see. That's all. That's all. So
no, listen, and you're 100% right. Listen, when you're in the position people want to see, people are killing Canelo to fight Benavidez, but Canelo, but he has
his ass.
He's unified. These are things that people want Tank to have on his belt. Let him unify. Let him do these things if he wants to do them at 135. I get it. Like, it's a difference to me when it comes to that. Even with Bud Crawford, I don't kill Bud for the boot situation because he came out and said, I want the bag. I want Canelo. If I fight Boots, I risk getting that bag. I love the transparency at that point. He's like, he may be done after Canelo. I respect that as a fan because Boots is a threat. He could beat Bud. And if he beats Bud, guess what? He's not going to get that $30 million bag that he wants with Canelo. So I understand that. He's at the tail end. He's 36 years old. Tank is 29, turning 30. It's about time. Timothy Bradley called him a 30-year-old prospect, which I don't agree with. To be honest, I don't. But these are the criticisms of people that want to see greatness. And, and that was just my whole thing, man, in regards to what I've stated. Hold on, my man says, both of you guys are making great points. I appreciate that, Phil. Listen, I have no hate towards Tank. I don't know Tank. You know what I'm saying? He said I look like a McChicken, Big Mac, whatever. It's cool. I'd still fuck with you, Tank. Funny.
It's nothing personal. You don't take it personal. There you go.
No, I just want to see Tank reach that expectation. And again, I get it when it comes to a lot of these fighters, especially the black fighters, right? Because they are judged for some strange reason differently than the Latino fighters. A lot of them take a loss, and now they looked at as dog shit. Errol Spence took the loss to Bud. I don't see anybody clamoring to see him fight. And I get it. I totally get it. But at the same time, we want to see greatness become greatness. And want to see him fight Shakur. We want to see Hagler Hearns today. That's what we want to see. And again, I'm not saying that Keyshawn is going to beat him, but I will say this: how he carried himself was extremely impressive. And I'm starting to really like the kid. I'm really starting to like the kid. From the Tiafimo stuff that he did, you know what I'm saying, to putting this event together, selling those tickets. He said that somebody was paying $10,000 for front row seats. This is Keyshawn Davis we're talking about right here. $10,000 is a lot of money. So, I was definitely impressed by Keyshawn, but I'm with you. I want to see a couple more joints before that. But at the same time, I still want to see Tank challenge himself too. I don't want to see 3 years from now he's fighting the same guys. You know what I'm saying? We want to see something big with Tank. We want to see a Mayweather Pacquiao with Tank. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying. But moving forward, Maniac.
Yeah.
Abdullah Mason, the hottest prospect in boxing yesterday. I mean, in all of boxing today, was actually ESPN's top 5 alongside Xander Zayas, Ban Rodriguez. There was I forgot somebody else. The top fighters under 25 years old, and he was named one. Most people got him as number one, but for the first time in his career, we've seen that he was not the Terminator. And he can get put on his back. He got dropped twice last night. Responded well. What was your take on the knockdowns from Abdullah Mason? Do you look at him any lesser? How do you feel about him?
No, man, listen. In fact, I'm glad you went through that, man, because listen, you gotta on your way up, you gotta go through adversity, right? Things are gonna happen, right? So to me, those are good teaching moments for Abdullah, right? Yes, sometimes you tend to gobble up in your hype, right? You're knocking everybody out. I'm gonna run through this dude. You kind of go in there sleepwalking, and then they wake you up. Bing. That Dominican dude was tough, man. He had over 20-something knockouts. So the guy could punch. He maybe wasn't the most skilled fighter, but nonetheless, he had the power. And it showed yesterday. Now, by it, at no time was Abdullah Mason hurt. You know, he was stung. He took the Kaepernick. He took the knee twice, bing, bang, 2 times. He got up. And what you want to see, Norbs, in those fights is what do they do after the knockdown?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why he's there, right? He showed dog, he showed grit, he showed, okay, I could go through adversity. And why his father told him, like, yo, just chill, relax. And that's why he did. He relaxed, he took his time, and in the second round, he finished them. Body shot, beautiful. Yep. Bing! Yeah, flash knockdowns. That's how they look. You know, he was never hurt. He wasn't, he didn't have the Bambi legs, none of that. He was good. But all it shows is, look, no one is invisible. Let's just be clear. No man is Superman. No fighter has that cape. You could get got in that ring.
Yeah.
All Abdullah Mason got to go just back into the drawing board and say, listen, you see, it can happen, champ. Just be careful. Let's work on that. But no, I absolutely don't think any less of Abdullah Mason. I still think that not only he's going to be a world champion, Norbs, but I think he's going to be a world champion in multiple weight divisions.
Absolutely. Now, I want to add to what you were saying. First of all, I heard you used to cut hair back in the day, and you cut homeboy's hair last night. That's one of the rumors I heard. But first of all, that guy gets worst haircut of the year. Absolutely. The funniest thing I heard was when somebody said he cut his hair like that so he could have a pillow when he landed, which was absolutely hilarious, right? But let's get back to Abdullah Mason. I love Abdullah Mason. I think he's phenomenal. I think his offensive game is crazy, but he made mistakes yesterday, and somebody capitalized off of them, and it happened. But it goes back to the great fighters that have went through this, whether it's Felix Trinidad, Miguel Cotto. I seen Floyd get rocked by Chop Corley. I seen Diego Corrales go down multiple times. I seen Miguel Cotto get hurt. My favorite fighter of all time, Canelo Alvarez, gets rocked, and he had the noodle legs against Miguel Cotto's brother. But
yeah,
it's what happens. Yeah, exactly. It's what happens after that. You can be Floyd Mayweather, or you can be Chris Colbert, who never recovered when he got hurt. And those are the facts. And not to knock Chris, but that was the first name that popped in my head. You can be that, or you can be that. And I think Abdullah is more towards the lineage of these individuals at this point. So to me, I was impressed. He did get caught flush twice by a guy that probably wasn't as skillful, but he hit hard. But he bounced back and he did what he did. And watching him after the fight, he was a little embarrassed. You could tell. But at the end of the day, he sometimes you have to be humbled in order to be that to take it to the next level. You know what I'm saying? And I think he realized that, I can't walk through everything. These guys at this level hit hard. You know what I'm saying? And I actually give him more props than before that, simply because of the way he was able to move forward and finish that fight. I don't think he ever hurt in that fight. But to be honest with you, I take his situation a little more on a positive note than Kid Austin, to be honest with you, simply because he didn't change who he was as a fighter. He continued to do what he was doing and finish the job. I feel like Kid Austin reverted to his old tactics that they were trying to get him away from, and that's what got him hurt. So I think the mentalities of these two fighters are completely different, and I think Abdullah is going to be a superstar. I'm not sure yet about Kid Austin, but Abdullah, I mean, the kid is phenomenal, man.
Yeah. No, and you look at, and it's the way his poise, right? How he handled himself. He looked like a veteran. He looked like someone who's been there before, someone who's been knocked down before, which he never has. So that's what you want to see. Let me check his temperature. Let me see how he looking. Let me see how he's moving. He never at one point blinked after that. He kept his composure. He went in and he took care of business. Now, by it, whenever you get that close and you get into a firefight, you're gonna get burned. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You understand? It's boxing, bro. It's just boxing.
Yeah.
And he kind of had the phone. He had the phone, but he kind of had it too low. And they gave him, he was able to hit him with that left hook. So
Same exact twice. Yeah.
yeah. So these are things you're gonna learn from. And remember, boxing styles make fights, man. You got fighters that every time they in there, you could be better than him, but you just not might look good beating him. But he looked good doing it. So Abdullah Mason and Schofield, to your point now, we're talking about, because remember, Schofield's at 135 as well.
Yeah.
Yes. If I had to pick who's on a better track to stardom, I think is unanimous with Abdullah Mason.
Hey, listen, I like this comment right here, and then I forgot even to mention this. He says, "No disrespect, says I don't think Mason wins that fight if his opponent didn't injure his leg." I don't agree. I think he did get injured. I think he did hurt his leg, but I don't think he survives what was going on. I don't think Abdullah was hurt. I don't even know if he was actually hurt, but he did look like he did hurt his leg last night. But I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that? This comment about that?
So he did. He's right, though. He did. The opponent did hurt his leg. As far as that being a guaranteed win against Abdullah, I don't know. But we don't know. Maybe it goes 3-4 rounds, and perhaps he might drop Abdullah one more time. Those are the possibilities, but it's hard, man. The what ifs are hard in boxing, right? Even in sports. So we can only judge it based on what it was. And what it was that Abdullah in the second round went in there and did not play with his food. He got in the kitchen. Y estaba comiendo.
I mean, listen. You could say that in regards to his leg, and that is a good point. Who knows? Maybe that next time he hits Abdullah, it does more damage. We don't know. We don't know if that's going to do. We all do know his barber needs to be fired. Absolutely immediately. But I mean, I left that fight just excited, man, to see Abdullah. I'm like, man, I want to see him again. Like, who's next? And I think his father's going to kind of bring the reins down on him a little bit and kind of be, hey, listen, we got some things to work on. That happens to you against a guy like Tank, get out recovering. You know what I'm saying? And he's at 135 pounds. You can't, once the competition continues to grow, you got to avoid that. You can't get hit flush like that. And he got hit flush.
He did.
Twice. Somebody else, it could be a big problem for him. So
correct. But he's still, Abdullah still got a couple of fights to go.
Yeah, absolutely. How many fights does he have on his belt right now? I know he fought 5 times this year. How many fights does he have on his belt right
5. So that was Abdullah Mason's 5th fight, and he's ended all of them via NyQuil. He gave everybody NyQuil.
Yeah, I'm excited. Who do you want to see? And you know what's funny? I was watching Kamal Moten talk, and they asked him about Abdullah Mason, and he said he's the guy. He's the new guy. He's the one. What do you think about his comments in regards to Abdullah Mason and the comparisons?
No, I think you always like to see another up-and-coming fighter give another up-and-coming fighter respect, because that's what it's about. They both in the hurt business, right? You're risking your life anytime you go in there. And Kamal Moten, man, he's another fighter who's looking like he's going to be a superstar in this sport, down the line. So him giving Abdullah Mason his credit is amazing, bro, and I love it. And I respect him for that, because he didn't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, who do you want to see Abdullah fight next? Do you think he steps up in competition? What do you want to see? Who do you want to see him fight?
So hold on.
Yeah, you good? You good? I ain't gonna lie, man, I'm excited to see Abdullah, man. I like watching him, man. But who do you want to see?
So look, same thing like KEYSHAWN. Abdullah Mason is he's with Top Rank. And listen, put him in there, or put him in there with Raymond Moore retired. That's another fight that I would love to see. Or Abdullah Mason in, because this guy could punch legitimately. And he's trained by no other than Robert Garcia. And if anyone knows, Robert Garcia is arguably one of the best trainers in all of boxing
ever.
So he got a good corner. But you know, there's other, right off the bat, I'll have to check the rankings at 135, because he's not ready for no world champions right now. I wouldn't put him in there right now. He's still kind of green, but he's on his way, man. I think this time next year, Abdullah Mason 100% should be ready for a title shot.
I'm gonna keep it real. From 135 to 140, there's a lot of fire. There's a lot of smoke right now, bro. Like literally a lot of smoke. There should be a lot of big fights in the near future. You know what I mean? Whether it's Rayo and possibly Tank, Teofimo, and possibly Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, and some. We still got Josh Taylor. There's a lot of smoke. Keyshawn Davis. There's a lot of smoke in these divisions, man. I feel like it would be a injustice if none of these fights happen within the next few years. There's a lot of smoke, man. A lot.
I'm glad you brought that up, Norbs, because I've been vocal about this, screaming and yelling. Why is it, right? You have Tank, Haney, Shakur, and Teo, one division apart. At one point, they was all at 135 together. And not one of them has fought each other yet. Not one. That is madness. In fact, Ryan Garcia, say what you want about him. No, I don't agree with him testing positive for the Ostarine, which he had a very, very little portion in his system. But regardless, he got found. It was negative. He got suspended. But Ryan's fought Tank, and he wanted that fight because he fought at a handicap. We drained him and put a rehydration clause. And then, you know, he went ahead and fought Haney. So why is it that we got those four fighters haven't fought each other, but Ryan is already fought 2 of the 4? Come on, man.
And to be honest with you, too, I give Tank a lot of shit. But it's not all on Tank, because they haven't fought each other either. You're right. Why aren't they fighting each other? Why isn't Teo fought Devin or even Ryan? Ryan seems like he wants to fight everybody. He wants to smoke with everybody. Why hasn't Shakur fought them? It's always, oh, it's money. I didn't want to do this. Why haven't they fought? It's not all on Tank. Tank can't fight everyone. He just happens to be top dog in his division. But there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of, listen, I didn't even mention Matias. He's still there at 140. There's a lot of killers at 135 to 140. And none of these guys are fighting each other. Why?
It's shark infested. It's shark infested, but no sharks are running into each other. I agree. And that's what I'm saying. Why? And that's why, this is why boxing is at a level where it should be. Like, remember the 90s, remember the early 2000s. Boxing was off the chain, bro. I'm not gonna even talk about the 80s. Why? Because you had the best fight in the best. All the mega fights that could be made were getting made. Majority of them, right? Now in this age, bro, it's too much politics, and it's nothing is happening. And just imagine that, Norbs. Imagine in 1 year you get Tank versus Teo, and then 2 months later you get a Haney versus Shakur.
Yeah.
How excited would we be as boxing fans?
Yeah, I mean, bro, you get Matias versus I don't know, Pitbull.
Ryan, Matias versus Pitbull.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many fights to make. It's disgusting. There's so many good fights to make at 130. Listen, I want to see this era. I remember when Floyd went and fought Diego Corrales. That was up. We didn't know who was going to win that fight. We didn't know Floyd was going to be Floyd at that point. But that was a fight with 2 guys similar to where Teo is and where Devin was. Or I mean, they were actually undefeated at the time. That it happened. You know, this is where, and you're right. You know, if people want people to tune in to see, they don't want to see you guys just fighting. There's too much talent. It's not like at 147 pounds where Boots looks left and right and there's nobody there. There really isn't nobody at 147. He has 54. But at 140 to 135, there are too many good fighters. It is absolutely insane. And that's why I like what KEYSHAWN is saying. I want to go for the belt. I want to unify. Why aren't people going for the titles? I mean, you tell me, why isn't this happening?
Yeah, because politics, bro. Because either fighters are trying to price themselves out, or they just don't want the fights. Norbs, they just want to talk about it. Like, oh, I'll be because where we seen all the fighting at, everybody's fought each other on social media. Not only once, 3 times. Everybody fights on social media, but nobody's fighting in the ring.
Absolutely.
That's the biggest problem with boxing.
Yeah, that's a great point. Jesse Carl says, let's remember this too. Top Rank is great at building fighters, but when it's time for them to get to the big mega fights with fighters from different networks, and yeah, that's another thing. The the networks. But I'm
the
hearing,
politics.
The politics. I'm hearing though another name, Jesus Christ, Zepeda. They're saying that him and Tank. I'm not him and Tank. Him and Shakur are locked in. That's the rumor. They said it today. That,
well, it might be. They because Cepeda's gonna fight Tevin Farmer.
Yes.
Coming up in the in next month in the Riyadh season Latino.
Oh yes, Riyadh season. Yes.
Yeah, the Riyadh season Latino.
Yeah, I listen. I'm excited for this. I hope these fights happen, man. Boxing is such a dope sport. We need it to happen. But let's move forward. Oscar De La Hoya, Clap Back Thursday. He comes out and says, let's do a 5-on-5 versus Matchroom boxing. And I seen somebody put up a list, and this list was crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, 5-on-5. I think this is what boxing needs. This is why not? I mean, he did say he would fight Eddie Hearn, which I thought was ridiculous.
Yeah, it did.
I mean, but still, the 5-on-5 that Oscar suggested, I think is absolutely insane. Hey, what's up?
Say hi, mamas.
Hi. I mean, what do you think about this 5-on-5 card? I think it's absolutely insane.
No, so if you know, earlier this summer you had Queensberry versus Matchroom in the 5-on-5 on the 5-on-5, which was on the same card where Big Bang Zhang knocked out Deontay Wilder. So we've seen this already, right? Turkey Al-Sheikh is on board with the 5-on-5s. 100,000% agree. 5-on-5s will be excellent for the sport of boxing because you get in top 5 quality fights. They could possibly be main events on any other night, on one night, on one card. The fans win. Automatic, the fans win. And the sport as well.
How do we get over the and I think His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh is the key to this. How do we get around the red tape of who's gonna come home with this and that and all of these things? How do we come and get around that?
So as you know, Turkey Al-Sheikh has been kind of like the mediator, right? When it comes to these Riyadh season and these other promotional companies, he's the one that's putting up the money. He'll let the other promoters do the promoting, but he's putting up the bag. So whatever he's gonna put up, you're gonna take, whether you take it or not. But it's a fair price, better than what your promotional company will give you. So Turkey is the key when it comes to these 5-on-5 mega, blockbuster cards, man. And that's why he wants to put that money up, Norbs. He wants to make the best fights in boxing. So let him do it. These fighters got to be on board too. You can't be scared to take a L, man.
Now, another thing is, will Bob Arum's comments hold the event back? Because if you do remember, he made a comment in regards to Jared Anderson and stated that Turkey Al-Sheikh, handing him that bag ruined his career, and kind of took shots at His Excellency and said, these guys are jumping at these bags and not being ready, and it ruins them. Do you feel like that comment may force or may leave Turkey Al-Sheikh not wanting to work with Bob Arum?
So I wouldn't say that. They already did sign a deal together, a business deal. So they're gonna do work together. But I think someone in the chat mentioned it earlier about Top Rank does a good job in building these fighters, which is true. That's an excellent point. They do. So, but on the contrary, Nobes, you can't blame someone like Jared Anderson who said, look, I'm gonna get the bag and I'm gonna challenge myself.
Yeah,
I don't see nothing wrong with that. The only thing is that what the fans do on the flip side is now they damn the fighter for losing. Oh, you see, he was never good. He's a bum. He's overrated. Come on, bro. Don't do that. Because you wanted him. You said you want to see him challenge in the fight. He does it. He loses. And now you cooking him. Nah, bro, it shouldn't be like that. Say, yo, listen, maybe you're not ready. Get back to the drawing board. We see you next fight. But to cook a fighter because he lost and challenge himself, that's some immature shit, bro. Then you're not a real boxing fan.
No, absolutely, absolutely. I feel like you know, and that's my big thing about the old thing. What Floyd Mayweather brought to this game that I despise is the old thing, and it's just ass. But you know, I hope the 5-on-5 happens. I think it'll be super dope. Oscar's been hilarious with these Clapback Thursdays. I think he continues to need to make them happen. There was one that was really weird, but you know, I forgive him for that one. But they've been great. They definitely been great. Tonight, the fight, Boots.
KEYSHAWN.
Yeah, I can't even say the guy's name. Also, Bam is on the fight.
Yeah.
Expectations tonight. Another fight in Philly, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Correct. So this is going to be Boots' second time headlining at the Wells Fargo Arena. That's where the Philadelphia 76ers play at. I was there for the first call in the summertime. I mean, Philly came out for Boots. He's a star, especially in Philly. They love him. He's on the cuffs of being a mega star. He just needs the right dance partner. Now, again, I don't know if many people saw his first fight against KEYSHAWN, because this is a rematch.
Yeah.
It wasn't his best performance. In fact, many felt that was his worst performance, even though he still won the fight definitively. KEYSHAWN is an awkward fighter. He likes to move. He boxes. Not an aggressive guy, but he has good movement. So can Boots in the rematch, Norbs, can he cut off the ring, right, and make sure he could get to KEYSHAWN this time and put that body work in like he likes to do? Because Boots is a technical brawler. He'll come in, he could box, but he want to break you down. So I'm going to pick Boots to win. I don't think he wins by knockout. I think he wins by decision. And then, of course, Bam Rodriguez, the champion at 115. He's going up against Guevara, another Mexican fighter who's tough. But, man, when you watch Bam in that ring, you're looking at greatness. You're looking at just an artist that's just excellent in drawing, that you just could watch in amazement for hours. This guy is that good offensively. Now, on the defensive side, Norbs, he has things to work on. But I expect both fighters to win. I'm going Boots by decision, and I'm going Bam by stoppage.
Now, this is the last question, and we're going to wrap up because I got things to do, right? I know you got things to do. Where does Boots go from here? That's the big question. We all know he's not getting a bud fight. All right. 147 doesn't even make sense for him to unify at 147 pounds. Do you feel like it's time for him to move up to 154 and chase after the Charlos and all these guys that are at 154 pounds?
Well, man, I'm glad. That's a phenomenal question, man, because we, you know, amongst the boxing circles, this has been the chatter. Does Boots go ahead and unify? Is it even worth it? Like you said, right? Is it even worth it to unify? Remember, Boots is closing in on almost 40 fights.
Yeah.
Almost 40 fights. So you can't waste your time. I would like him after this fight to go up to 154 and start challenging, because we're talking about 135. We're talking about 140. Bro, 154 is extremely shark infested. Nothing but great whites at 154. And then you add someone like Boots into that water. Wow. And Mortazaliev, the guy who knocked out Tim Tszyu, who has a belt, he called out Boots after the fight. I wouldn't advise it. But shit, if Boots want to be great and he want his name to really be a household name, that's the kind of fight he needs to take, man.
No, I'm with you. I think he goes up to 154. I think it's time. I don't want to see him fight at 147 anymore. 147 has been really, I mean, Spence left. Everybody's retired from there. Boots he's left. I mean, and I'm with you. If he wants that bag, and I think his body, his size, it fits for 154 to 160. So to me, I think he needs to make that move. I mean, how many names are at 154? You just named Tszyu, Fundora, Spence. I mean, Charlo. It's a lot of guys at 150.
Erickson Lubin.
Yeah.
You even got young Zonda Zayas, who's up and coming.
Yep.
Yo, bro, we could be 154 is crazy.
No, I'm with you. I definitely hope he does that. Yeah, on that note. And then
I think, let me see. I think he should unify, still looks good. So, Jesse, look, I'm not saying that he shouldn't, but I just think at this point, realistically, those champions, right? You got Barrios,
Yeah.
you got Brian Norman, and then you got my man, the Lithuanian. Shit, I forgot his name right off the bat, but I'm a favor Boots against them. Look, I'll say maybe one more fight after this, but time is ticking, bro. Time is ticking. So I think 154 is the best move for him.
Yeah, and like everybody's at 154. I think he definitely needs financially, it'll be more appealing for him. That's just what it is at 154 pounds. Listen, yeah, you can fight Tim Tszyu. Tim Tszyu's going to be looking at to come up. Sorry about that. Tim Tszyu, my fault. Tim Tszyu's going to be looking. I hate the phone thing. Tim Tszyu's going to be looking to maybe bounce back. That's a tough fight, regardless if he took a beating in the last one. But there's so many names at 154 pounds, and I think financially it just makes way more sense. And who knows who he can get at that point. So I'm with you. I think unifying at 154 will be more financially beneficial for him than unifying at 147. Go to
look, also Virgil Ortiz,
yep.
Madrimov, Bohachuk. Yo, bro, it's crazy up there. There's so many fights. Yo, listen, financially, I think that's the best move for him. He wants to do one unification after this fight with Kukajan. I'm okay with it, but then he needs to get a 54 because, like I said, time is of the essence, and Boots is getting up there.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, my man E-Dot says Boots should stay 146 in the division. I hear you, but he's looking to get paid. He's looking to get that money. And at 147 pounds, it's not, unless he wants to attempt to go to 140, which would be stupid. 154 is the best move for him. I think it's time for him to capitalize and make that money. I don't care if he fights Barrios. I don't think anybody would cares if he fights Barrios. That's just being honest.
Yeah. No, I get E-Dot. Look, E-Dot, I feel you. Boots should stay up and clean. But I think at this point of his career, E-Dot is just, he needs to make moves. Remember, he has like 30-something fights. He's already almost at 40 fights, man. It's time. I say one unification, go to 54 and get big money fights.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. On that note, bro, I'm gonna let you rock out. I know you got the fan with you.
No, thank you, man, for having me on, champ. We'll definitely do 1,000 of these.
Yo, I'm not gonna call you late tonight because I know you.
I'm gonna be sleeping. Please, and don't do it.
When I come for you for a fade, don't give me that little thing you gave that guy.
Yo, listen. You're my favorite Dominican. All right.
All right, bro. Get out of here, man. I'll let you. My guy, that's my guy, the Maniac from Four Corners Podcast. If you guys have not subscribed to that channel, please do. Watch the fellas. It's a dope show. It's your boy Norbs, and we are out.